And we're back up and running, or so you'd hope that we are. Fingers crossed, touch wood, it will be Anna on the Blight. And yes, it does seem like we have gotten a Singapore server after them momentarily being a little bit finicky at the moment. I'm not too sure what's happening over in the land of behavior, but hey, who am I to judge? It's going to be Anna rotating all the way down into the bottom half of the map where we're just trying to see spotting out any stealth outs. We do see some scratch marks, so automatically this is looking a little bit like the game had well, the game previously starting a little bit, but moments before. We are going to be catching Gibbsy off guard though, getting that early tag all the way down into the shack. And we're going to be following up with the rushes, nicely breaking that shack pallet. Then Gibbsy making his way all the way down into corner 5, where he's going to opt for the furthest death location from those top generators, as he does take the pre-drop of the filler pallet here. He's just going to be dropping that instantly, running all the way down into the corner. So we're going to walk him down on the side of Anna. No real reason to rush this. We're going to be sending the vault there. Not too sure if we're like the life player or something happening there, but unfortunately just going down in the corner. That will be Ruin in the background going, and yes, it is life. DS, we're trying to get a life off from that Z wall. If we managed to get that, that would have been monumental. And yes, kind of reminding me of a scenario that happened a little bit ago in my match Tavi, where I just vault into the loving embrace of Andrew. But nevertheless, we'll be one stage at the moment for one totem pop. No gen at the moment.
Yeah, but given the better hook location than previous, I think this trial is going to be a little bit better for Diamond Dogs. A bit of a catch-up from a couple of minutes ago while we had the server issues. I believe JT went down close to the mid-map, and I think we both believe on the casting desk that it's not a good death location. So yeah, this corner hook is going to be a little bit more inaccessible for survivors, but because it's also inaccessible for the survivors, it's more inaccessible for the killer. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to defend. And we can see here, Anna is just, having a bit of doubt. Can't really stray too far from the hook, lest there be a save right in their face, and they're just going to face camp this until second. And I do think that Survivor's doing the correct thing here. Usually you do want someone coming in. There we go. That's the savior there, and the tunnel out coming through. And yeah, they do pop a gen now, Duo Survivors. It's going to be JT, presumably around the mid area, getting the first gen done. But there's still a bit of problems because they need to, rotate in and get the pickup on the currently slug survivor. And oh, this is actually the DS play coming through from Gibbsy. For the block. Actually, no, he kind of fakes it. And I think it's a nice little mind game. Even makes a vault there. I believe that was resilience value coming into play, and Gibbsy's going to just life all the way up to the top of the map. So yeah, really nice chase here from Gibbsy. Of course, it is the Team Australia member who's getting the job done here on the mid-map hunter. This is beautiful work.
Absolutely beautiful. Being able to unzone himself and make the window as well is crucial for the survivors. I saw what Anna was trying to do, trying to block both the path to the shack pallet, which had been thrown. You could have just blocked the window entirely, in all honesty, if we just remembered that a little bit ago. But we do take the first tag onto Ranger here. He's going to be vaulting straight back into Anna. Yeah, not really much you can do there, unfortunately, getting caught out at that pallet. You either win the 50 or you don't. And if you're on the side of Anna, and you play Blight quite often, you're winning most 50s all day, every day. Regardless, so we'll be taking a hook over into the corner of the map here. JT is sitting on a generator that's about 75% done. We are going to be rushing all the way down to the top side of the map now, playing for our top generators, trying to push survivors off of those. We are going to be going back to 3 here, trying to get an eruption, and pop goes a weasel effect on it, but we don't really need to. It's not really progressed too far, and I think it's still regressing. I didn't really quite catch a glimpse of that. I could be wrong, but regardless, going to be kicking this generator here at the bottom side. Now, you can hold the bottom side here if you are Anna. We're going to be taking this kick onto this pallet here over at 5, and yeah, the resources have been so depleted at the bottom side. We did get a gen pop in the background. Not too sure what generator that was. We are still working main here as well. We do have access to a nice 3 generator here, so we don't really have to lift a finger, move away at all anytime soon. Not too sure. Didn't quite get a glimpse of Deli. I do believe it was Promo who got the Deli a little bit earlier in the trial on the first hook that came off of Gibbsy. But regardless, we are going to be vaulting into the loving embrace of Anna, getting that quick tag, and this is going to be another quick pull. This is probably going to be a slug too with Medkin in hand. You would anticipate this is the Deli player as they are going down. We're going to be following up the chase with Ranger all the way into the bottom side here. Only has access to that bottom mid filler though. Once that's dropped and gone, I mean, it's kind of chop chicken cheese, but regardless, Going to be safety bumping here on the side of Anna a little bit too much. Probably should have just taken that endurance status effect tag, but we are going to be trying to cut Ranger off from making the top side, but he's already made half of the top side and now full top side here. Dropping that pallet and playing around the coal buckets is going to be able to win the 50s, I would assume. So unfortunately, no, going down. I thought he was going to make the 50, but didn't. Do see Gibbsy in the background here, already stealthing about as well as the other generator over at the main building proc. So the survivors definitely have the upper hand here, Tavi. I mean, you know, 3 stages on the board and only 3 generators done. So yeah, you know what? This is kind of the turning point though. So if we're able to really hold this bottom side of the side of Anna, we can definitely pull the game back for the side of Ancestor.
And I believe it's going to be difficult for Anna to do this because I think our survivors have rotated well. I think having the single hook survivor be on the less vulnerable... Okay, Gibbsy did send it for the pull, so he's going to trade here, but he was stealthing on the top side, so the more vulnerable survivor in like the worst area of the map is good for you because, of course, the killer doesn't want to chase that. But now he's traded. It's going to be Ranger, of course, heading to the top side and trying to last as long as possible. That is a very nice little vacuum there, and he will be playing this chase out. Got dead hard and bounce landing. We can confirm that by seeing that in the HUD, and the chase is going to continue. Actually, wait, hold on. We just go back to the hook, and Ranger is going to be safe on the top side. I don't believe they can reset themselves too easily, so of course someone will need to head up there and heal him. But he's still alive, and that's going to be another pressure point for survivors to try work around. Of course, you don't want to put Ranger on a deep generator in the map. You'll just sit him probably on that top side, on that 3 area. And actually, no, he's already reset. Okay, never mind. Maybe they have like inner strength. But yeah, you just sit him on this generator here, and whenever the killer does commit, whenever Anna does want to take a few too many steps to try get the tunnel onto Ranger, suddenly the other generators, which are deep in the map, are going to get progress. So that, I believe, will be the plan of Diamond Dogs, as we just not really commit too many chases here. As I do like this because, you know, the survivors are going to easily make topside. You don't exactly know what's in the back pocket of everybody just yet. So at the moment though, Anna is just using perhaps a bit of game sense to locate the survivors. We do find JT alone. Ranger stealthing though, that's huge because he was the tunnel out. And he's going to get away for free. So again, there's just a bit of like pressure building for the killer right now to get some pressure Hunter, and not being able to capitalize immediately really has to feel bad on the killer like Blight. You know, you want to be getting those tags really quickly and converting them into downs. But at the moment, there's nothing. Diamond Dogs are just playing this really patiently.
Yeah, they are. They're playing the slow game, you know, having that reset up on the top sides really aided them in this late game now. We do see the cleanse of the totem onto Ranger here, who is our inner healing player. You know, he gives you back on that generator over at 3. I'm not too sure we should be worrying about this, but we are going to be trying to commit for a tag. I dare say we're going to be leaving this as, yeah, Gibbsy's just going to run all the way down top side, unless we're pretty confident in the fact that we can down Gibbsy very quickly. And we are actually following up with the chase here on the backside of main. Pre-dropping this on the side of Gibbsy, no greeting it. I like it because he's able to really play around it afterwards. He isn't just kind of caught out at the main building. Greeting it once more again. Has to be pretty careful that, you know, the rushes don't come in and it's just a quick down, but a little bit reluctant to use the M2 here on this side of Anna. We are going to be trying to play the check spots, the M1 mind games, if you will. We're going to be wiping in and out, but getting caught, unfortunately. That would have paid off if we were able to make a way, but unfortunately, Gibbsy going to be slapped back on that hook, and we're straight back down to the bottom side. We do get the eruption proc all the way down over at the shack, and we know somebody's been working it. Somebody just kind of stealthing here up on the top side of the map. So it was 2 survivors working this generator. We had aura on only one of them. I do believe it was JT who was never found with his aura. It was Promo who kind of got caught on the gen. So the comm coming in, but unfortunately not being able to really evade the aura on the side of Promo. But we managed to find out JT, who's just kind of been stealthing out here over at 8. He's just going to run down to the top side again, has no real reason to stick around the bottom side. That's another tag in the back pocket of Anna. I think JT is now just going to go up for a reset. Can't really afford to play aggressive here at the bottom side, as we do take the kick of the eruption, and the pop goes the Weasel proc onto the shack here. So again, Anna a little bit more in control of the match as opposed to maybe, I want to say 30 seconds ago, but Still anybody's game at this point. It is 2 gens left, 4 stages on the board. You know, you have 2 Death Hook. If you can manage to get one of your tunnel outs fairly quickly and go straight down to the bottom side where you're just holding the generators, it could be a problem for the survivor teams. But we are going to be vaulting the window here on the side of Gibbsy. That ping coming in, my God, is going to be detrimental to him. We are going to be vaulting the window and following up with consecutive rushes in 3, 2, 1. Are we going to be going down? Do we make the pallet here? Now Anna's going to play the flicky, and we don't get it. Unfortunately, just not turning enough. And now that's going to allow the survivors in the background to get Shaq done. We know it's all done and dusted. We're just committing Gibbsy here to make sure we get the extra stage, and maybe we can manage to find a fresh hook in the later game. We know we're getting outs here. So, you know, Ranger off that generator over at 3 playing extra safe. Okay, so he's not committing that. That's nowhere near done. That's about 75%. So actually, you want to say nowhere near done, but it is fairly progressed. You know, it is somewhat near done. We are starting 7 on the side of Promo. JT probably just kind of stealthing around the map to see whether he wants to commit this generator here over at 3 or help Promo out all the way at the bottom side of the map, Tavi.
Yeah, and I think they will just do the same split as before. Gibbsy gave away his life to secure the Shack generator, and I don't see why they should change the game plan. Like, Gibbsy was a player in the trial, that's an asset, and you turn that asset into, you know, a generator, which I think is pretty logical in this situation. And now with JT having been found, takes the M1 as well. Perhaps Anna will decide to chase this, because again, I guess like in Gibbsy's case, Anna just decided that the generator was the generators were not close enough to completion that the tunnel out would affect the overall stages, and yeah, doesn't commit though, finds Vanga instead on the 3 generator. That's a huge tank, by the way, but we do know, of course, that Vanga has the inner healing, and Anna might I mean, might suspect it, but we'll probably know very soon. But it's too worried about the generators right now, because you've not seen Promo for a very long time, and we can confirm this by seeing Promo just stealth around. And this stealth is huge. It's like creating ghost bits of pressure on the map. Like, Anna kind of knows there's a survivor around here, but how long they've been there maybe is a bit unsure. Maybe they've already rotated out of the area and just is going for the other generator. And yeah, again, Anna's a little bit worried about it. So checks the generator, there's no one there, and all 5 rushes are now gone. So survivors will start taking a bit of action here. Just as I say that, though, Anna goes straight back to the gen. But still, because you've just not seen Promo at all, just a few traces of him, we're not sure where to check, you know? We're not sure where, like, if he's anywhere. And it's just the complete wrong hiding spot that Anna is trying to find Promo at. So I think the survivors will just continue this little game of cat and mouse while the generators are, you know, getting progressed. And it's, again, another test of patience, I believe. JT is going to be the one to find out here, but it's, again, yeah, I just think it's another great test of patience about who is going to show their hand first.
Definitely. I mean, we get another tag into our back pocket on the side of Anna, but we have 2 generators that are very dangerously highly progressed. You know, Promo just kind of sitting this generator here over at 7. You did see him rotate off of it behind the backside of Shaq, you know, the first time around we came here, and I'm just surprised that, you know, Anna didn't catch a glimpse of it. But regardless, we have found him now. He is going to be faking the window and eventually taking it, but running around the side, he's going to probably get tagged here. No, Anna playing a little bit too impatiently, because Anna knows that they need this tag right now, right here. And, you know, maybe they're even gone for a double on that generator over at 3. So, you know, he really needed that tag on the side of Anna. Is going to be safety bumping there on the side of Shaq. Beautiful tag there. Now, probably is opting to leave this. You know, I don't think you really want to commit at a point in time like this. Yeah, the double coming in from the 2 boys over at the top side of the map there. JT preemptively leaving it on the outside, but he's going to be getting caught out. Is saved, though. Unfortunately, not being able to make the flick there on the side of Anna. Back on the generator over at 7 is Promo, and now Anna just willing to give up the entire game for the fresh hook. And I don't entirely hate this idea, because you realize that, you know, 4K1 is kind of out of the water at the moment. So we are going to be unfortunately bumping into the rock there, trying to use the bump logic to our advantage, but not quite working out. We're hiding behind the rock on the side of JT, and we found Ranger. Hold on, Ranger's aggroed the chase here, and he's ran all the way down into the main building. So following up here on the side of Anna, this is going to be a quick down. No, they're dead hard coming in, my God. You know, for once, he is the guy on the least amount of ping, and this lineup here being from WA to Singapore, so yeah, it makes sense to put him on the dead hard, and he does manage to hit it, so very well done to Ranga. He's going to extend his chase a little bit further, a little bit more time, and this could be grounds for the 6-2, unfortunately, for Anna. You know, you don't really have anything to go on here on the side of Ranga. Can he make it out? I'll be very surprised if he does. Back vaulting that pallet outside of main is going to now make the window, and use as much distance as he humanly possible down to the mid side of the map. But he's going to wrap around because he doesn't have enough. He's going to be using the window and now making this outside pallet, playing the 50s. Does he win the 50s? Oh, he does win one. My God, that... Oh, hang on a second. We're getting a little bit flicky here on the side of Anna. And if we're not careful, Ranga's just out. I mean, if only this door was open, then maybe, just maybe, it would have been the 5 stage that we're looking for on our survivor end. But Anna playing around the bump logic very nicely, unable to connect the flick though. We're back at this pallet here, Tavi, and you know, Anna's really struggling, but unfortunately for Ranga, Anna does definitely make the 50 and does win it in all entirely. And yes, I was getting a little bit tongue twisted there between Ranga and Anna. That was very confusing for me, but regardless, that will be the 6-2. 7-stage win condition for our survivors. Can they meet it? I guess we'll have yet to find out. We'll be right back after a quick and short intermission.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the Blight set. Now, Diamond Dogs just took away a 5-stage and 2 fresh performance on the survivor side. So now they've just handed over the reins to Gibbsy to try and take this away with a slightly better result. 5-stage 2 fresh is enough for the first set win. And I think, honestly, Hunter, I think in the last trial, I think Gibbsy was kind of like that, the early game MVP. It was the tunnel out. He went down, I would say, edge map, so that was all right. But then that tunnel out chase, he just lasted. And then Anna decided to drop, and they lost so much pressure from that. That's yeah, it ended up in the 5-stage, and I think now with him on the killer, I guess he's just looking to 5-stage here, which is a bit scary for Ancestor.
A little bit, you know, you don't usually see Gibbsy on the Blight, but you do see him on the other movement killers. You see him on Renown Billy, you see him on Nurse, you see him on Oni. So, you know, it doesn't shock me that he decides to throw in a bit of Blight every now and again. And the Survivor's playing the stealth game early very, very well. We are going to be able to see the scratch marks leading into the bottom side where, you know, we've done that crossroad. We're trying to get to the generators that are uncorrupted. Going for a little bit of a cheeky S-flick already, my God. But we are going to be finding Matang, who's just going to be dropping this pallet and running around it accordingly. Is he going to be able to win the 50 volt? No, unfortunately, that ping coming into effect and that quick tag. We do have all 5 rushes in hand. Now, what can we make of it on the side of Gibbsy? Not a down on, as it currently stands. Going to be slapping the pallet into his face from Matang. Love from Matang. Matang now making around the pallet, making around the loops here. The pallet getting hit through the pallet. No, oh my God. Oh, the horror. It's ugly. No way. That's unfortunate. You know, obviously you make that if you're off ping, but on ping, my God, that's just the 50-50 I thought it was safe in all honesty, but Gibbsy, very well played, being able to get his first hook within the first... No, the generator hasn't even been procced yet, so you know what? Before the first generator has been procced, we are going to be scouring this 5 edge here, so really try and look for anybody who was ready to get on these bottom side generators. We did think that there would have been somebody else, but I think they're just kind of hauled us back top now. And look at his gen spread. You know, he has a few top, he has a few bottom, nothing in a big bad cluster, but I want to say it's like a 3-gen bottom, 3-gen top, 2-gen mid, as we are trying to get this mid generator and split up the pressure. We are going to get the unhook in the background. Now, you can only hope that Matang was not our Delhi play, because that would be most unfortunate. I don't think it would have been, considering how aggressive he was playing down the flank, but we are going to be dropping the shack pallet here and trying to make as much distance as humanly possible all the way down into the 9 section of the map, 8 section of the map. We are kind of zoned edge here, though, so what can Gibbsy do around here? What a nice flick. The mechanics on par, so he's been in the labs. He's going to be going down on the side of Matang. That's going to be him up. Is this the DS player? No, it's not. So I'm not too sure what kind of player we found off the rip. But my God, Tavi. We're in a power position on the side of Gibbsy. I can't lie.
It's a very nice continued tunnel out to Gibbsy, which I think Anna would have really wanted to do to Gibbsy in the previous trial, you know, but could not follow up after the pallet gym drop. So Gibbsy looking, again, just looking for 3 more stages here for the tie. I think it's pretty reasonable considering there's still 5 generators left, and he's just keeping the survivor busy around at this steel wall. Does do a little bit about double bump there, which is unfortunate, and will miss the flick as well. But again, all that Gibbsy needs is just a handful of stages before this first set is over and done and packed up. So he's going to head back to Hook to try and interrupt the Savior, which actually, incredible timing there, does catch out rotating Nancy, and we'll just take the trade. And I guess here's the question, do you pick up here? I guess the Gibbsy is just going to go for a 4K result, which is a respectable play there. Even though the win con is 5 stages, he's going to continue tunneling out, and it's going to pop the life now from Jake. And I don't know. I guess maybe this jungle gym is safe, but the Tang is playing it really patiently. Nearly gets flicked around. That was criminal if that hit, honestly. But yeah, I guess now the chases are going for a little bit longer. There's a bit of hope still left for Ancestor to keep in this trial, but the way it's going, again, I think Gibbsy's got all the momentum. He actually misses the down there as the 3rd generator does pop. So yeah, Gibbsy does really need this down, and the survivors are going to attempt, I think, an ultra stick play and miss out on it. So 2 more stages remaining, 2 generators remaining as well. But as we know, in the 3v1, things only get uphill for the survivors. So again, there's still hope for Ancestor here to claw it back. But I think Gibbsy is still in a powerhouse position. He would need to lose out on numerous stealths, I think, to lose this 5 stage.
Yeah, I think when contrasting the 2 games that have just happened, Gibbsy has a tunnel out at the moment, 2 gens remaining. We didn't see a tunnel out until 1 generator remaining on the side of Anna last game, so Gibbsy definitely setting himself up for at least the 4K one. He's going to take the tag here onto Zelisha, who is running all the way down to 4. Doesn't make the pallet. Gibbsy with the mechanics. My god, the shoulder flick coming in very nicely. Is going to be picking up here and now taking the first hook onto Zelisha. I'm not too sure what kind of player this is. Don't think it's Deli. So we are pretty happy to hook here in the corner of 5. So we do have a nice 3 gen here over at 5. We do have 2 generators off on the top side of the map, which you can think that maybe the survivors are working at this current time. Maybe we just let Zelisha hit second of some sort, as we do see Gibbsy just actually, he's found somebody just touched this generator. He's looking edge map here, but isn't going to find them. Now the question is, how long ago did they pre-leave this? Because wait a second, hold on a dang minute, he's all the way edge map. It's Aether with sprint burst in hand, is able to evade the tag. So forget what I was saying about both survivors being topside. One of them's bottom here, able to get that unhooked there, but does have access to a pallet. Will not be making it. Will be going down on the side of Aether. Do think this is our Deli player, so he'll be getting picked up. He does have the med kit in hand, as we do pick him, and we're going to be eating that Deli if it is the Deli player here over the mid side of the map. And we do have access to those 2 generators, or the bottom, or the top side. Now we're going to try and press that survivor working this 10 generator off. It is Anna, who is getting tagged imminently. Yeah, there is the Deli in the background for those paying attention. We are going to be pre-dropping this pallet outside of main, but winning the 50. We're not going to be getting any wacky hits on the side of Gibbsy. And as the score is currently, it is 5-3, so if we do manage to down our good friend Anna, I do believe this will be the win for Diamond Dogs very early on, but still setting himself up for an amazing result. Gibbsy is, as we do take this pre-drop outside of main, Anna trying to fake the window, not working out in their favor, is going to be picked, and that will be the set going to Diamond Dogs. Tavi.
Right, so my Discord is telling me that I have over 2,000 ping. Ah man, these are the times I love. But yeah, Diamond Dogs taking the victory here. Very solid performance from the survivor side. Maybe solid's actually a gross understatement. I'd say, yeah, my internet's dying, isn't it?
If you want, I can just take over Tavi. There's no worries there, as we do interrupt this generator on the side of Zelisha. No, it's okay. I got you, man. It's all good. We can just continue on from here. I mean, we only have access to 2 survivors at the top side of the map. So, that 4K2 is inbound, and Gibbsy really making his statement here able to really pull such a great result. We're getting a little bit disoriented on the side of Aether, who is going to be running edge map 1. And then we're just probably going to be hauling ass all the way to bottom to get that unhook from the side of Anna. We're getting a little bit wavy here, a little bit showboating, and Gipsy kind of falling for it. Wave me down. I don't know if that's just an animation tech to go down as quickly as possible. We're on no pallet, so I'm not too sure what was happening there, but we are going to be taking the pick here straight back onto the backside of main. That's going to be the second hook onto Aether. So, Gipsy going all the way down to bottom once again, and we're just kind of like a little bit of a ping pong ball, as you do with Lights, trying to manage all of the generators, and we almost get a very nice flick. Sorry, that would have paid off so well, but we do pre-drop the pallet on the side of Anna, and we are playing the mind games on the side of Gipsy. He is really trying to get something for the Twitter clips to be shown, but oh my god, no, don't tell me he makes that. I was about to say, my god, he did try it. He definitely did try it, but we're going to be following up on the bottom side here. Anna playing this chase very well for what they are given. And Tavi, are you still here, mate?
Yeah, my internet has fixed itself. I'm settling with a 32 ping right now, so 100 times better. I'm very chill right now. And yeah, Gipsy going for the flicks there. I do appreciate his mechanics. I do see a few little micro errors from the just some of the I remember the double bump a bit earlier, but still on point mostly, and it's more than enough to get this set over and done with. So yeah, even this position here, I think with everyone death hook and 2 gens left, this is an easy 4K for most of the times that killers will play this out. So he's actually confident enough seeing the resets to hold the crosshair, which is another reason I think playing on these maps are very interesting, on these choke point maps. I didn't really get into it before, but because the map is easier to kind of well, has a choke point, so it's easier to monitor the choke point than other maps. There's that kind of issue when you can't cross that choke point, and Gipsy did show that right there. So I'm just gonna just secure the death here and continue playing for the 4K2. But yeah, next set I would only assume is a Gipsy pick again, and if he can deliver there, it'd be quite fortunate for Diamond Dogs, because yeah, only Cold Tower we saw him get 4K3. So yeah, we're just gonna continue his movement, I guess, around the map. Perhaps just get a bit of movement prep, I guess, warm up for the Oni set.
No, I like how we're taking ground back into the match on the side of Gipsy, but the Survivor's also just not giving up. We do see Aether here with Sprint Burst in hand. He's going to be greeting the pallet twice, and then just the micro fakes, getting a little bit antsy on the side of Gipsy, really trying to hit them through the pallet and take advantage of the ping here. Does eventually get and win the 50. First tag coming into Aether, all 5 rushes. 1. Yeah, we are going to be able to do something miraculous here, as we've been trying to do. That's very ambitious, my god. Okay, a little bit out of the water there, Gipsy, but still playing around the rocks very nicely. Maybe Zelisha all the way over at the bottom side of the map, trying to get one of those bottom generators done. We are going to be taking chase here all the way into corner 11 on the side of Aether, so he's played his chase very well to be able to make this much distance, but unfortunately, the rushes there, playing the short side, Gipsy going to be getting that tag, getting that down very nicely. Now, Gipsy is going to be roaming all the way back down to the bottom side after the slug. I don't hate this idea. Now, maybe Zelisha just rotates off of the generators and goes for the pickup in the back corner. I'm not too sure. No, we've just conceded the fact that we're really trying to play for the 4K1. We're getting grabbed, though, unfortunately. That will be Ruin taking into effect. Yeah, that's a good thing to note, is we'll just ruin Andy throughout the entire match, given the fact that we never really destroyed it after, corrupt intervention. So, did we or didn't? No, we didn't. It was in main, yeah. It's lit up in front of my face, and I'm just completely losing it, everyone. But regardless, that will be the 4K2 for Gipsy. I'm pretty sure he'd be happy with that kind of result, especially for his...
Gipsy, we did see some incredible results just a while back from that set between them and Evolution, Diamond Dogs and Evolution, I mean, and I guess Gibbsy was inspired enough to try Oni again. And yeah, look at that, he just gets a tag within just just 15 seconds. We're just downright bad like that, and this is going to be a great start for Gibbsy here. And he even catches a bit of the Jiggy away from the Paladin too. So as we see it down here, because remember these survivors are on ping, so it's pretty much playing 50s on pallets, and that is a down Hunter in a record 40 seconds.
Oh no. I mean, you know Gibbs is good, but to find the first tag and then also find a down in the same, instance within under a minute, Tavi, like you had mentioned, my God, that's absolutely incredible right now. As we do take the pain resonance here, we are going to be following up with some collected blood orbs, which is going to give us power. So, very early on into the match, and this can be pretty bad. I mean, we are just going to be waiting until we catch sight of one of the healthy survivors here over at the top side. We do take the kick over onto 10. That is the Eruption proc, and we do have access to, obviously, Corrupt being gone. Eruption, Bam for the comfort, and Pain Resonance. As far as add-ons go, this is a lot more stock standard. This is Crutch and Fang, so, we've really got that speed to help us out at those 50s and traverse around the map, as well as the extra duration, because frequency isn't really heavily advocated these days. Well, when you're bringing in either one or the other, people usually go for Fang, or at least in my opinion. But we are going to be getting it down onto Zelisha here, who has been caught out at the midfielder. And this is the Eruption proc here all the way over at 11. Playing the mind games, unluckily getting caught over at the T there is Aether. And oh no, this could be the 4K5 if we're not careful here, Tavi.
Yeah, and this gives you showing exactly why Fang is crazy good on this killer. Now, I know a lot of people love speed on Oni, and you'd be surprised why you wouldn't bring Hull. Hull gives you more blood, means you get more power. I mean, Hull gives you more. Sorry, Fang gives you more power too. But what Hull doesn't do is reduce in as a side effect of giving you more duration. It also gives you more power whenever you down someone. The percentages are less. You're losing less percentages of power every second when you're in the Demon Dash. And similarly, when you do pick up the power from Blood Orbs, you're technically getting more overall power per Blood Orb because the duration is longer. So getting an extra 30% of your power is really, really significant on Onis, and you can see why right here Gibbsy does like it. I think if those two downs were without the Fang, then he would be pretty much out of power. But he had an extra I would say 15% left over, which is the result of having the Fang in. Yeah, two downs in the early game before a generator has popped on Oni is surprisingly really, really good. Actually, 3 downs considering there was a hook before this, so yeah, really, really good. And he's already got power again. He's going to have another little bit of a run on the Fang power with the extra duration. Can also pretty much camp out the hook to its entirety with power. But decides to go away and try and catch our survivor here. Of course, no bounce timing is going to be here, so Mr. Dwight goes down immediately. At least I think, okay, maybe I saw that wrong. But yeah, Gibbsy just going to continue slugging, and this is just the results of a really, really nightmare start to the minigame. It's going to be another slug coming in on to Aether, and at this point the trial is all but over. If Gibbsy, of course, can find the last survivor, it would end their suffering very, very quickly. But at the moment, struggling a little bit. Has a game sense to kind of generally know where the survivor is, guessing that they were on the 1 gen, but could not capitalize it on in time. So they're going to get the pull here, does Ancestor, and going to prolong the trial more. But there's so much blood already on the map just by having injured survivors, doing, being alive, I guess, that Gibbsy could really just pick up a power whenever he wants to. And he's even just continuing a little bit of chase on the tunnel out and just perhaps pressuring them away from the slugs. And now he's just going to take another hook here onto Aether in the meantime. So yeah, Hunter, I'm not sure I don't remember if you played Oni. I think you do play Oni, right? So I'm curious to to know whether you're like a hull guy or like a fang guy because I'm pretty sure everyone wants clutch. On
Fang. Fang 100%. I'm always an advocate for bringing Crutch. That's just the staple in his power. But yeah, I don't know. Hull is, yeah, it drops the frequency, but I mean, look, extra duration and then more power in the back pocket is always much more of a plus in my opinion. But we do manage to get the first generator in the background procced, so you know it was a long time coming. We were very scared of getting that 4K5 on the side of our survivors just a moments ago, but Gibbsy is going to cut off whoever's crossing over for this pool here, and it does seem to be Zelishar, who is almost getting flicked through the ping, but managing to win the 50 now. Blinding Gibbsy is going to be going down into the middle of the map now. Do they have access to another filler pallet? They do, just outside of main. We do manage to respect it on the side of Gibbsy and not get stunned. And do we get this massive flick? No, we've opted to go for the cancel, and we are going to go for the zone breakage back into the middle of the map, where there is access to no filler, but regardless, we are going to be losing power there. We are going to be settling with just a little bit, and maybe we can pull it back to a 4K2 here. I'm not too sure what's happening. We do reach the second stage just before the pull. Most unfortunate stuff for our survivors, just a little bit late there on the side of Space 01, but Aether back in the trial. Space 01 on the floor. Aether now has to live for his life, and we're going for the pickup to slow the game down a little bit more. Maybe Gibbsy giving them a little bit of a breather here, Tavi.
Well, I mean, a little bit of a breather is only for Gibbsy. In this situation, Hunter actually means to say everyone is injured, but they could all be downed. And they could all still have like 5 games left, I guess. But this is still a horrible situation for Ancestor to be in, as Gibbsy's going to farm even more power on this bottom side of the map, unsurprisingly. Again, luckily for Ancestor though, as we were saying, like it's not like over for them. It was like really nearly over when Gibbsy was going for the second power, but there are now 2 generators done and still 4 survivors in the trial. So yeah, I mean there's still play to be had here, and Gibbsy, of course, is going to acknowledge this and continue playing as normal. So yeah, gets it down onto Renato. That's going to be the first tunnel out of the game. Not really sure if I could call it a tunnel out at this point with 3 death hooks, but yeah, first death of the game is here. And he's just gonna again pick up more blood. It's just blood everywhere because the survivors just did not have enough time to reset everything before rushing the gens. And saying that, they actually get another generator done. So I'm actually quite impressed that Ancestor could come back from such a horrible start and get 3 generators done. But getting, I think, another one done is going to be extremely difficult now that all the pressure is gone. So, yep. Gibbsy's going to continue this chase. We do see a little bit of value from Fang coming in. Only 30% of the power gone rather than 50%. And he's going to get the flick off here with around, I would say, 40% power left. So yeah, I mean, he's still got a good enough duration, I guess, to really just walk anywhere and pick it up quickly. But that's going to secure Pain Resonance as well with that down onto Anna. And now I guess he can also rotate topside, pick up this little blood pool here, and chill for another little bit while Kazan is roaming the main building. So yeah, so I've still got some hope perhaps of popping another generator. As I was saying, I think it's going to be very difficult, given that okay, well, Gibbsy just gonna power everywhere now, and it just catches out a stray little Aether and in the corner. So all but deteriorating from this point into the 4K2, which I think was actually a very good combat. So that's gonna be a nice flick onto Ace as well. So yeah, just really nicely done by Gibbsy. And I guess unless maybe he doesn't get, nah, he should get this down here. So yeah, he will. And that's secured 4K2. So no more I guess prolonged trial for Ancestor to try and scrounge that last gen. Is going to be secured 4K2 for Gibbsy now. And Diamond Dogs, I mean, Diamond Dogs got an extremely good result against the last Oni set that they did play, and that wasn't even their pick. So again, I think it will be a little bit tough for Ancestor to try and meet the result here, even with the ping being involved.
recollecting the game on their side, it was looking dire, like, well, a lot more dire than what it is. It's still looking dire, don't get me wrong, because, 4K2 is just not what you expect on the Oni. But way better than a 4K4, 4K5, as we do take the final slugs hooking off into the distance. It is going to be Zelisha just kind of sitting at the pallet that he dropped and was down at just a little bit ago, but Gibbsy, yeah, I mean, it is popular amongst everything that everybody says Gibbsy gone crazy, and here's the reason why. You can almost sense the fear in this match from the survivors being reluctant to make any move forward, always getting caught out of position, getting tagged, and I think that's what Gibbsy really demonstrates here is just his dominance. He's just hasn't made a mistake, hasn't really blundered. The only really thing you could fault him in, and this isn't really a fault in any regard, is yeah, he didn't manage to find the last survivor stealthing over in 3, and then that managed to get the game up and running again. So much that they could pull back to a 4K2. But again, still very, very well played regardless. That's going to be our ace done and dusted though. We'll be taking a quick and short intermission while we get maybe the last match set up for you guys of the set of this series, but we have yet to see can the killer of Ancestor 4K3 Diamond Dogs. You'll just have to wait and see. Pink, regardless, can they pull off the 4K1? They seem pretty confident, so who knows? I mean, on the Survivor side, you got Gibbsy all the way over here, over at the main, followed by Philly Fry, Supersaurus, and Ranger. So, yeah, as you see, these horrid fits, they are disgusting. Regardless, it's going to be our Oni spawning all the way on the top side of the map, rotating. Oh, sorry, bottom side, rotating top side. Learn your maps. We are going to be taking chase onto Gibbsy here now. We've brought Brutal Strength instead of Bam. With the short fillers, I've heard this isn't the play these days, but it used to be the meta back in the day regardless. We are going to be going on Gen Patrol here back to the bottom side of the map away from the corrupted zone. So we are zoning the survivors back into the shack, and we do see in the distance, I do believe that is Supersaurus there on the Claudette running around alongside a shack, opting not to use the pallet here, running past the window peekaboo. We are going to be vaulting it. No Bam is going to shut that down. So yeah, that would have been lovely to have Bam there. Can't even lie. Considering we didn't even take the break onto the main pallet and utilize the Brutal, we'll continue the chase over at main. Regardless, we have caught out Ranger, who was just working this generator here all the way over at 9, 8, wherever you like, is going to be momentarily caught out. But I'm going to be throwing this pallet here over at 9 and playing and winning the 50s as well. So still delaying that first tag. And this is just like a traditional Oni set, in all honesty. They're just really showcasing how well versed they are on the Survivor. Got to be vaulting that very nice laid out window for Ranger. Is going to be caught a little bit on the corner there, but does make the filler, does pre-drop it as well. Now, Bloodlust 1 in hand. Are we able to get a tag with that dropped pallet? We're going to have to play the mind games here on the side of our own. I still can't tell who that name is, and forgive me for mispronouncing it, but I want to say it's... hold on. Andia? I want to say it's Andia. Regardless, we are going to be taking the kick out over at the bottom side over at 8. Going on Gen Patrol on these bottom gens, as we do have the first one in the background. Proc, still no tag. My God, Tavi.
Yeah, and Andia's kind of having trouble here, and it's kind of thanks to the really good positioning from Diamond Dogs. I do have to admit, like, the positioning here was pretty much perfect. We had a chase around the top side for a little bit, and then immediately after the Oni starts rotating to midsection, we see the midsection survivors rotate, and then that was Supersaurus going to Shack, and Supersaurus immediately gets left with no bamboozle. And then we see Ranger take chase, win a lot of good check spots, and just deny Andia so much power that I don't know if it's possible to really come back from this. Like, Oni, I guess, M1 Killer is kind of one of the more, I guess, snowball sets, I would say. Kind of like all really depends on your start. Like, it's most weighted, I would say, on how well or how quickly you get that first tag. And with Andia having the full corrupt intervention being ran out for not even a single tag and just like two eruptions, that is just not nowhere near enough compensation for the time lost in this. So Supercell's is going to continue the chase. There goes the Pack Pallet finally after around 2.5 minutes, and that is the second generator done as well in the background. Gibbsy's just working another one, and of course, if Endia decides to kick this, then Supercell's might decide to get back on the other one that was just kicked, and it's just really, really messy still for Endia. So yeah, I mean, props to Diamond Dogs. Ranga really just showed up in that chase, and that was the chase that, of course, mattered, because that was the chase that was committed for the most amount of time. And now, of course, now since Super's in chase, we'll have to see him, delay this for a little bit, but really should not matter for too much longer because just the gen pressure over 3 minutes from Diamond Dogs has just been more than enough. And yeah, he's even gonna make the there's no pallet here. So yeah, I guess there goes the tie condition for Ancestor, and since the gens are pumping in the background, I really don't see a way back, but I guess they popped the power here, Hunter, so all is not completely lost yet. Maybe the options could get something going, but oh wow, we look at that immediately. Diamond Dogs, I just noticed that on the HUD. Just immediately noticed that the Diamond Dogs just get off the gens, and that is a really, really good sign of their proactivity.
Well, Andia has popped power to go for traversability around the map, and I don't hate the idea. The only thing is you're met with the ability to be able to stealth out with your healthy survivors. So this is what you're seeing, Tavi. Like you said, they're off the generators. They're all in corners, lockers somewhere around the map, and Andia's not going to find them. And he only oh, wait, they are. Oh, I said that, and I should have kept my mouth shut as we did. Just pull Ranga out of a locker. Now going to hook him on the first pain resonance of the trial coming in very late. That's going to be on Philly Fry's gen wherever he is. Gibbsy's still in the background working another generator that is going to solidify the win for Diamond Dogs, you would say, because, oh, actually he was working main, so he had to leave it, but they're hopping back on the double in the background. They really want to get the win condition, and I don't blame them. We are going to be taking chase onto Philly Fry here over the two sides of the map. He is going to be greeting the RNL and opting to go for the window. He is sent it all the way down to the pallet gym over at 4. Kind of followed the killer in the process. I even thought he stayed all the way over at 2. But regardless, Andia going to go back to that pool there over at Deep 11 onto Ranga. And Gibbsy going to try and take a hit here. Very ambitious considering this is an Oni. But we don't close enough distance to get a hit. So made enough distance to go around the main building once more after vaulting that drop pallet that was dropped at the beginning of the match. Brutal Strength going to be breaking that immediately. I want to point out, maybe if we had Bamboozle, we were able to shut down a lot more loops a lot more quicker, in all honesty. Maybe, just maybe. I think this is what you're seeing here, because he's not really getting his value. Like, these fillers are still short, and you can break pallets and power. It's just not as good as what it once used to be. You use it for the god rocks and whatnot, but they don't even spawn anymore. So anyway, we are going to be taking chase back onto Philly Fry here, who doesn't really have a lot to go on, but we're leaving him and we're trying to really hold these generators, considering we've already lost the tie condition and went out the win conditions for our survivors. I don't see why you would leave Philly Fry. We are back on Ranga here, who is our tunnel out. So, this isn't really the survivor you want to be chasing, considering they're injured and are not one of your fresh hooks. So, playing around the window very nicely here. The pallet is already gone. So, again, on the short side, vaulting the window into it. Very ambitious, but winning that 50. That's the final generator in the background procking. And is just really struggling with the mechanics here because he's been counteracted by Ranga. Slapped him in the face with a pallet as well. He's going to be going around the backside of main. Kudos to him for vaulting the window too. He might even just make it out. This is power gone. This is like no power in hand either, but we've caught out Gibbsy trying to work this one gate here. Does have access to this filler pallet, but it is too short to even be worrying about. I mean, he is going to be getting tagged No, he makes this R and L and never drop the R and L. Does greet it. Does he make the window? Does make the window. Life in hand. He's away. He's almost gone. He's gonna try and make it to the shack. We're mind gaming ourselves. Where did he go? We don't even know. And that will be all survivors out the trial. One stage to show for Ancestor. Very well played. 2 Diamond Dogs, if you don't mind. Gibbsy showing off the moonwalks. And yes, that horrible fit. Thank